What is going on, everybody? My name is Dean. It is the World Cup starting tonight here in Australia. It starts in it is starting tonight about 7 o'clock Australian time PM. So we are going to do the World Cup. We are going to get the game to tell us who is going to win. And we are going to see exactly who wins which match, why they win which match, who are the top run scorers, the top wicket takers. The game will predict everything, and that is that. So what we're going to do is we're going to simulate round by round, and then at the end we are going to see which teams are in the finals, who plays who, and then we're going to go through the finals together. So let's, how many rounds are there? There are 6 rounds. Let's go and simulate to round 5 and see what the standings look like at that point. So at the end of 5 rounds, this is what Cricket 19 has predicted the tables to start looking like. And it's got India on top, New Zealand in 2nd, Sri Lanka 3rd, England 4th, South Africa 5th. Now all these teams, 5 wins at this point, with India having the best net run rate and also having a 2 games in hand, or a game in hand, compared to some of the other sides. And it looks like this top 8 is set here because Australia sitting in 8th position here, who drew against someone. Bangladesh, I think they had a draw with. A 2 games clear, 2.5 games clear of the bottom 2 on the table in West Indies and Afghanistan. So let's look at some of the more interesting results here. Let's look at the Australians, because I want to know what the game thinks of them. So Australia, they beat Afghanistan. They then went on to beat the West Indies. They lost to Pakistan by not batting very well. They then went on to tie a game against Bangladesh at the end of 50 overs. Both of them were on 300. And then in the 5th round, they lost to England in what was a pretty close game, actually. 48 overs to chase it down. And then they beat New Zealand. Shouldn't they be higher there? Aaron Finch with 100 there. Look at that. Chased down to 186 fairly quickly. Very nicely done. So, which brings us to the final round here. Round 6. We're going to simulate that, and then we're going to see how the finals play out. So officially at the end here of the 6th round, we see England finishing top of the table with Sri Lanka 2nd. That's a bit of a surprise. South Africa and India rounding out the top 4 teams. New Zealand, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Australia all qualifying as well for the finals. So what we're going to do now is have a look at the leading run scorers and the leading wicket takers. According to this, surprise, surprise, Virat Kohli will be the leading run scorer, averaging 76 in the tournament. But boy, oh boy, wowee, Steve Smith averaging 182 runs with, what's that, 6 not out for Australia, doing an extremely good job there with 546 runs. Do you reckon Kohli's going to get 600 runs at 76 average? Jason Roy up there as well for England, getting a lot of runs. Shikhar Dhawan getting a lot of runs. Usman Khawaja getting a lot of runs. Dick Weller getting a lot of runs. De Silva as well for Sri Lanka. So we've got 6 players on top of 500 runs at the end of the tournament. That is incredible. That is a very good job. The next thing we'll look at is the highest score of the tournament, which Kohli will make 169 not out so far, with Darwin 165 as well. Guptill's up there for New Zealand. He'll have a big one. Roy will have a big one. Shazad will have a big one. So a lot of these players doing really well. Joe Root even, and Bairstow making big hundreds. Khawaja as well. Steve Smith. Even Aaron Finch makes 100. I just wanted to have a look at this. David Warner makes 200 runs. Oh, I hope it's not the case. We then have a look at the leading wicket takers here for the tournament, and we can see it's Mohammad Shami. India is just topping everything right now. Mustafiza Rahman for Bangladesh also doing a very nice job there with 15 wickets for the tournament. Lockie Ferguson from New Zealand. Mujib for Afghanistan does very well, as well as Afridi. Jofra Archer, the standout bowler for England, taking 13 wickets, with Moeen Ali taking 12. For the Australians, the leading wicket taker is Pat Cummins, taking 12 wickets. I can see that happening. I can see him being the leading wicket taker for the Aussies. Rashid Khan takes 11 as well. And Mitchell Starc, 10 wickets. Not bad. The best bowling figures was from this Indian bowler, whose name looks incredibly difficult to pronounce. Took the only fiver of the whole tournament, 5 for 47. So I think that could be accurate. Only one fiver in the whole tournament. Incredible. But let's continue to predict this finals series. Oh, it just goes straight into semi-finals and final. I swear it was like the top 8 for whatever reason. I've clearly buggered that one up. So in the semi-finals, let's go back to the fixture then, because I clearly got this one wrong. England, South Africa, Sri Lanka, and India qualifying for the finals there. So they are the top 4 teams. New Zealand mustn't have missed out by much then, if we have a look. Oh, they missed out on 3 negative run rate. It was just 3 run rate, 0.03 run rate over India. So incredibly close finish there. And I think we could actually see that happen, is that a position in the finals could be decided by the run rate. I've backed out again. I've done this at least 5 times now. So the finals. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? Let's have a look. England versus India. First semi-final. India win. What was the scoreline looking like? With 1 ball to spare, they chased down 307. Butler doing very nicely there with the 95 and getting that one done. That's very good stuff. And it was... What did Kohli do? He's not even on here. He must have had a bloody terrible innings. He got run out for 5. Jeez. Old Virat would not be happy about that one, would he? And they will be facing... South Africa are serial chokers, right? They can't possibly win the semi-final. Oh, as I said, South Africa, serial chokers off the last ball of the semi-final. Sri Lanka get through them. Malinga does the job. 2 for 49. Who ended up hitting the winning runs? It would have been Tiramane and Gunatalaka with those big scores there. 5 for 302, chasing it down on the very last delivery. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. So the final of the Cricket World Cup, according to Cricket 19, is going to be India versus Sri Lanka. Now let's find out who Cricket 19 thinks is going to win the final of the Cricket World Cup. It thinks that India is going to win. It must have been an absolutely bowler's paradise, because India were knocked over for 214. Kohli made 73. But then India in response knocked Sri Lanka over for 162. Kohli was the player of the game. In just 37 overs, they were done. India wins the World Cup. It's at Lord's. And here is the Indian scorecard here. Wickets tumbling very, very quickly toward the back end there. They lost 5 for 60 in the end. And for Sri Lanka, they did a similar sort of thing. Their top order did okay. They were 5 for 117 before getting all out for 162. So it's obviously really good bowling performances all around, and it was one of those ones where it's just with Bumrah. Bumrah wasn't even playing. I know, look, the lineups aren't really real. The game is just having a bit of fun. But this is what the World Cup is going to happen according. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's fun getting video games to predict things and see how wrong they're going to be. We might revisit this at the end of the World Cup, have a look at it and go, how the bloody hell did the game get that wrong? But anyway, that is all. Thank you for watching today's video. Leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying the Cricket 19 content. Enjoy the World Cup tonight. The first game is on. Who is it? Let me suss. Who's the first game? It is somewhere on here. It'll be England taking on South Africa. And according to this, South Africa are going to win by 6 wickets. Enjoy. I'll see you all later.